Good evening, everyone. It's 6:01, and it is March 24th. Welcome to our Town of Rhinebeck meeting. Everybody, thanks for the pledge, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could I please have a motion for the approval of our prior minutes for March 10th, 2025? Oh,
John Stevens.
Motion.
we need to get it on the floor first. I need a motion. Thanks, John. Second. Any comments, questions, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I believe Joan already amended.
Yeah, she fixed it.
Oh, okay.
A couple of announcements, the same announcements I make every week. Check with the zoning department and building department before you do a renovation project. You may need a permit. And two, please keep your dogs leashed at all times in the town of Rhinebeck, especially in our park. I think I'm going to go out of order because I know we have some fire department members here. And we have a tab 17. I'd like a motion for 2025-117, amending the Rhinebeck Fire District contract. May I have a motion? Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chauncey. This amendment proposes that we move the portion of the fire protection district currently covered by Hillside over to the Rhinebeck Village Fire Department. Are there any comments, questions, or concerns?
Is it possible just to hold off another few minutes until the rest of our members come to where LJ is talking?
Are we ready for this?
Can't hear you.
We just started. They're trying to get us out of here.
We have an amendment. We have are you ready? Or?
Give me 2 seconds if you don't mind. Let me just see where the chief is because he was right behind us.
Sure.
Give me 2 seconds.
We have that. Do we want to go back? Let's go to tab 1. I'd like a motion for 2025-091 for our CCA renewal extension.
Motion.
Thank you, Alan.
Second.
Thank you, Dana, Colleen, Peterson. I just want to note, this was supposed to be approved at our last meeting. This will keep us on the community choice aggregate. We're switching from 100% New York to 50% New York, which is all renewable energy, but only 50% of it is generated in New York at 11.2 cents a kilowatt hour. I just want to let you know that as of March 19th, Central Hudson's rates went up to 16.7 cents a kilowatt hour. So, and with the Trump taxes from Canada on Canadian electricity, we can expect to see that go any higher. So this is looking like a good deal now. I urge every resident to be proactive, to keep watching what the rates are in Central Hudson. If you're in community choice aggregate, your rate will be locked in at 11.2 cents for the next 5 months until we look at what our next contract could be. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go back to tab 17, 2025-117. We have a resolution on the floor to amend our Rhinebeck Fire Department district contract. And I believe someone from Hillside wanted to chat, or is the chief not here yet?
He is en route. He asked if you guys wanted to wait, we could. If not, me and Pat can talk on this.
Whatever you want to do, we're happy to wait.
You want me to come up, sit? How do you want to do this?
Please
My
come
first
up and
time.
introduce yourself.
Okay. So I am John with Hillside Fire Department. I am the president at
What's
this
your
point.
last name?
Hudock, H-U-D-O-C-K. It has come to our attention about the protected district, how we are possibly losing that. and the dissolution of the firehouse. And we wanted to, you know, see what you guys are doing and kind of clarify things.
So you let us know that you were dissolving the fire district in October. And I've been in constant contact with Colette DeWitt, who is,
She's not a
can I just
commissioner.
finish, please?
She's a secretary.
Okay, she's the only one from the fire department who's ever reached out to me, and all my communication has been through her, as far as I know, with the chief's knowledge.
Okay.
I've never heard from any commissioner or any fire chief. So I was let known in writing, as the whole board was, that you were dissolving your fire district. She gave us the name of the attorney you were working with. We hired an attorney to get in touch with that attorney, and we said we'd be happy to help you and support you while you were doing this.
Okay.
During that time, there are two different responsibilities we have when a fire district is dissolved. Although legally we're not required to work with you, it would, I think, be immoral if we didn't, to help ensure that your district was covered. So that's fine, but our other responsibility is to our fire protection district. We knew when we signed a contract with you for 2025 that you guys were losing members. And I know that you've gotten new members, but 4 of the members don't even live in Rhinebeck. There's 1 in Elizaville, 2 in Milan, and 1 in Salt Point. So the amendment we have before us now, when we heard the trouble you were going with, we were going to work with you to see your dissolution, but our biggest concern was for the coverage of your portion of our fire protection district.
Okay.
So I reached out to the mayor as the commissioner, all of this with the knowledge through Colette to disseminate to your fire department, that we had more faith in the Rhinebeck Village Fire Department to cover us.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
So, you know, yes, we were hurting for a while. Since then, we have past members that are up to date on training have returned. We are up to 9 interior members. Exterior, we have, you know, additional, but as a fire protection, we consider the interior. The effective members living out of district, I can't think of the one that you're talking about that lives in Salt Point, to be honest with you. Yes, we have one that lives in Elizaville, but works in Rhinebeck every day. Has his own business, own construction company, so he's available. As you know, me, as a bunch of our members, we're self-employed, so we can drop at the tip of the moment and go. We've never had a problem getting out for calls. If you look at the protective district, Rhinebeck is further than we are. To the southernmost point of our protective and to the easternmost point. To me, it doesn't make sense. You know, we've handled it. We were hurting for a little bit, but we are capable of doing it now. So, you know, that's the voice that we want to be heard. We are not dissolving the fire district at this time. All that talk has stopped. You know,
Okay.
the source that you have being Colette, she sent me an email that she sent to you saying that, when faced with the looming dissolution, our firefighters got very busy reaching out to former members. As of today, we have recruited 5 former, 4 interior, 1 exterior. These guys are actively attending drills at the firehouse. We now have 15 members, 6 firefighters that are interior, 2 younger that are going through firefighter 1 at the moment. Our chief has stated that all required testing on our equipment has been scheduled and completed. The commissioners feel that with the returning members, we are able to maintain or remain functional into the foreseeable future. We are effectively able to cover our own district and the protective district.
Okay.
I don't know when she sent that to you. She just sent me a
I
copy
have the
of it.
whole, everything here. I got a message, I got a phone call from the mayor and some of the village fire department in January that the Hillside Fire Department leadership had met with the village fire department about taking over your district, your fire department, and them taking over the district. This is when it started. It also started in October when we renewed our contract because I had some communications with Colette about membership
Right.
then. And then Colette called me to ask if we had an attorney that we could recommend to you. So this has been going on since October, And I got the name of your attorney for the disillusionment, Terry Hannigan. We hired an attorney, we reached out. I don't control who communicates with me,
Right.
that no one from the commissioners or the fire chief never did. I did find a little surprising, but Colette is, you know, an excellent resource for you guys. You should be proud of her. I mean, personally, it's very up and down for me, and I can't speak for the rest of the board, but I don't feel it's in the best interest of the fire district to have, I want you guys to get your house in order and get strong. I didn't want to pull funding away from you and be the cause of a possible collapse, but it's what is it, guys? It's like a little bit of lack of confidence.
Okay.
Anybody, you guys have anything to say? Yeah, I'm not talking to you, you board members have anything to say.
I'm personally torn. It would be nice to keep the fire department in operation. But again,
The fire department is going to be in operation, we're just going to the
well,
resolution is to move the fire district
I
over.
understand, but it's a considerable amount of money that they would be losing.
Not only that, just look at response times from our firehouse versus Rhinebeck's firehouse. Look at the mileage, you know, we're 2 miles, 2.9 miles, you know.
You guys went from closing to now you're fine in like 3 months.
I get that, but,
It's
you
like a
know,
little scary.
it is.
And I've had a barrage of emails from concerned citizens. So that's why you see this reaction.
I mean, do any of the other members here want to step up and say something?
Any town board members?
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing as a fire department in the district for years now is crucial. And I don't want this particular move to be reflective of some mistrust. It's just, as it was presented to us for months, what would we do? What should we do? We should have done exactly what we're doing, making sure that safety is the priority.
I understand.
So
yeah.
that would be, that's where we're coming from. The issue of getting training and getting things back up to speed and the department being re-staffed and the voice that you felt maybe was represented to us can continue. And the emergencies will continue.
Right.
So it's just, let's go forward. We'll be supportive, continue to talk to us, come to the board, come to Elizabeth, communicate, and we'll work forward with it. It's not that we want to walk away. That's the last thing we want to do.
Right.
But
We don't want to see us lose our protective district, which, you know,
It's our protected district.
that is contracted with us.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
We represent the citizens of that, and there's a great amount of concern within your district.
I'd like you to look at the call volume
You know,
and the reports and see if we've ever dropped coverage.
we have started working with Bill Beal, and then put it on halt once, you know, we found out that this, so we were pulling records, we were pulling responses on mutual aid, and, you know, we stopped looking at it when we found out that you weren't going to fold.
Okay. Anything else from,
Yep, I mean, in the future, there's going to be more calls. And, you know, the hope is that that will continue, or that the fire department can continue with the staffing you have. It's not over.
Right.
We'd like to see you healthy and thriving.
Yeah.
And, you know, we know how hard it is. This is happening all over the state. Volunteerism is going down. The state mandates for volunteer firemen is increasing. And we know how hard it is and how much you have to train and how much time and how much it costs the department. You know, and we're thankful. And Rhinebeck's in a really good spot because of the volunteerism we have. And we'd like to see you get stronger and steady and hope that you do thrive and continue.
okay.
You know, the door,
Yeah, we need you, is the
At
fact.
this point, the chief just walked in, so I'm gonna let him kind of step in, and I'm gonna step back and see if he has anything different that, you know, he would like to bring up to you that I wasn't
thank you, John.
noted of.
Thank you.
So, thank you for hearing us. We do appreciate
Do you
that.
mind just introducing yourself?
My name is Mark Long. I'm
Hi,
chief
Mark.
of the Hillside Fire Department. I know you guys had concerns about us covering our district. Then we convinced you that we were covering our district. And then we came to you and said that we lost a lot of people. And we were going to have trouble covering the protected district. So that's kind of where we were. When that came about, the beginning of this year, we looked at other options. One of the options was to dissolve the fire district and have the town determine how our district and the protective district would be covered. The district did hire a lawyer. They discussed that process with us. And the biggest thing that concerned us was that after 94 years, the firehouse could be closed. All the equipment could be sold, the land could be sold. And that really didn't sit right with us. So when that happened, when we found that out from the lawyers, actually it was Captain Pat McCluskey. He went around trying to find guys that were members before, see if they would come back, and he did a pretty good job. So we were down to 10 with 2 interior. Now we're up to 15 with 6 interior. And we have 2 young guys that are taking firefighter 1 this year. That'll get us to 8. And they told me that they just took an application from another guy that is interior qualified. So that could put us at 9 interior and 16 members, which is, you know, that's better than we've been in a while. So what we'd like to convince you of is that keeping the protective district covered by Hillside is in the best interest of the people of the district. And they're you know, some of the reasons I just said, 16 with 9 interior. Our farthest building in the protective district is Countryside Animal Hospital. So our trucks could get there in 6 minutes.
And you'd still be doing that with mutual aid, correct?
It depends what it was. It was automatic fire alarm CO detector. We cover that. If it was something more substantial, yeah, we call mutual aid the same way every department calls mutual aid. But, I just want to, I want to make everybody know this, that we have nothing against Rhinebeck Fire Department. They are great people, you know, they're very good, so we have nothing against them. It's just that we can get there a little quicker. And I would hate to see like a rig from Rhinebeck get tied up at an automatic fire alarm when they get called to a car accident somewhere else in the district. To me, that would be, you know, not a good use of their equipment, which is something, you know, those automatic fire alarms, that's a lot what we get over there. And we can cover those. And actually, you know, the way we work is somebody gets to the firehouse, they can take a truck. So we usually get out within the first or the second dispatch. So there's 3 minutes in between dispatches. So you figure we're out in like 4.5 minutes. And then we're to the farthest part of the district in 10.5 minutes. So, you know, just from a logistics standpoint, we're closer, it seems to us to make sense to let us continue to cover that. Now, we are, you know, just like, you know, like you said, Rhinebeck at the current time is on our first alarm for car accidents and for any in-building issues. But that's not uncommon in the county. Tivoli is on Red Hooks. New Hamburg is on Village of Wappinger. New Hackensack and Houstonville. You know, there's a lot of departments that have another department on their first alarm.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Do you have any questions for us?
I do. What's the ideal size of your firefighter force? You're up to 16, did you say?
16.
What,
Yeah.
what should it be? What would you like it to be?
Well, it's all about those interior guys. And, you know, being up in July, having 9, to me, that would be,
You have 6 now.
we have 6 We have 6 now. Guys just filled out that application. That's 7. The 2 young guys, that's 9.
2 young guys that are, what?
They're gonna start firefighter 1 actually on Wednesday. So they'll be done with that in July. So that's the additional, that gets us to our 9.
Brian, how many how many firefighters in Rhinebeck?
We have 60 active members.
Sorry?
60.
Thank you.
How many
We have,
interior firefighters?
We have 20, I think, believe it's 27 interior with 30 or 31 EMTs.
I take it interior means that the firefighter is qualified to enter the burning building as contrasted to those who should not, because they're not ready yet or something. Okay, thanks.
Do you have any comments on, this or taking over the district?
No, we're here for the citizens and we're here to help the community
Yeah, I
along
know
with the
you-
department.
Thank you. I know you two have been working together in training in the past. This came this came to us because it started in October, and we got really concerned.
I
And your
understand.
citizenry, the people in the fire protection district are concerned.
And we do understand that. And we took actions to make ourselves strong for this. That's the point I was trying to make.
Thanks.
One other thing, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Last year, the board and you provided a letter to us for our, in support of our MIG grant. We did receive that grant, and that equipment's on our trucks. I wanted to thank you all for that.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming, Mark. Any other questions or concerns from the board?
I have one question, and maybe I'm not understanding mutual aid calls, but one of the things that we talked about when this first came up, and I had no idea, I laying fresh on the board, and it was like, wow, this is a big fire drill. Hillside has told us they're going out of business. So we've been doing a lot of scrambling around trying to figure out the answer here. And I thought one of the things that popped up was that Rhinebeck was already answering many of the calls because Hillside was unable to, or am I conflating that with mutual aid?
That's what mutual aid is.
Okay, so it's like
Mutual
a
aid is a
joint call.
system
Okay.
through county, correct me if I'm wrong, E911, where a call goes out and there's backup sent as well. It's in a specific district, but it goes out first call, second call to different,
May I just
Please.
respond to that? Rhinebeck is on our first alarm. They respond with us to those types of calls.
Oh,
But
everything but the CO
we do respond. They
Okay.
don't respond because we don't.
Gotcha, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
so they're responding anyway.
Do you want a suggestion?
Yeah.
I don't, well, it's, what the feeling is on the part of our firefighters that Hillside is okay and they have a good relationship. Obviously, a sincere effort has been made to get the force back up to where it should be, and I presume that will continue. I would be prepared, but you've been the one doing the work, Elizabeth, but I would be prepared to hold off on this. But boy, if there's another,
Chauncey, I don't think it's a good idea. I think we
Okay, well,
move
that's why I asked.
on and you guys come back to us and let us know how you're doing at the end of the year.
And if you
What if
need
these
anything-
3 guys don't go through, you got 6 interior firefighters and you won't have 3 more until July or August. I'd rather go the other way.
well, that makes sense too. I was thinking of
I mean,
this
this has
as
been
being permanent
a
if we were
roller
to do
coaster.
it.
We can change, it's our district, we can
Yeah.
change a contract at any time. The village is offering us a contract through 2025. Let's review at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Let's see where you guys are. I mean,
Couldn't we do that sooner?
what-
Well, just keep in contact with what's going on,
We're
how the
gonna-
training's going, more recruitment, just, let us know what's happening. We don't want to not support Hillside at all.
Well,
It's just we
supporting-
have to do the safest route. We have
for
to
our
take-
residents.
We have to
We-
take that, yeah.
We can't, with 6 interior firefighters, I'm nervous. Anything else?
No,
All right, I'm going to, yes.
Dennis McGuire, past chief Hillside. I've been doing this for 64 years. Our heart is in it. My family is involved in it. All the neighbors. When we started out, you were 16, you could join the fire department. And we followed some of these older fellows here. And the great relationship we always had with Rhinebeck Fire Department down in the old building, which I'm sure none of you remember that being an active fire department. And we've always had this great working relationship with Rhinebeck. And I don't want to see that ruined for any reason. When I was a chief, which our chief just brought up, to cover manpower and for the citizens of this community, if we had a call, structure, anything in structure, all Hillside goes. A tanker and the ladder truck comes out of Rhinebeck, automatic first alarm. So that part is covered. And we're still here, as we found out through the numbers, we're still active and we still get out. And, you know, at 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're leaving your house in the middle of a snowstorm to go and help your neighbors. These guys don't want this taken away from them. It's in their heart to get up. They could sit there and roll over in bed and say, hey, Jonesy will get that one. So, and the other thing is, through our Board of Commissioners, it's not the boss of the commissioners, it's not the secretary. So if you read something, which I did, that found out the comments being made about the fire department from somebody that was never active with the fire department other than signing checks.
I have a problem with that because none of you has ever picked up a phone and called me. Nobody, not a chief, not a commissioner, and it sounds like you're throwing Colette under the bus. I mean, she did a great job communicating. You guys have never called me. You went to Rhinecliff and told them you were closing and you didn't call me.
If I hear from Rhinebeck, not the fire department, from the board, that we're going out of business, and I read an article posted, given to the paper by the Secretary of Commissioners.
That's not how we found out.
Well, that's how
Chief,
we found out.
No, you went to Rhinebeck and told them you were shutting your doors and the mayor called me. That's how I found out. Not you, not the chief, not one of you commissioners picked up a phone to tell me. You have 15 firefighters and there's been no communication and you're wondering why I'm worried? And it sounds like you're throwing Colette under a bus.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel great.
She's the secretary.
Yeah. The only point of communication.
This is a different matter also.
I'd like to close this. I'm going to bring this to a vote.
Well, this is
No,
another,
I would like to close this and bring it to a vote if you guys are okay.
this is a different matter for me too. When I have to pick the paper up and read what's going on and comments being made coming from here and coming from our treasurer, secretary treasurer, what's happened in my fire department when I just got out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to go and help my neighbor.
We are grateful for you, for your help.
Are we really?
Yes, we really are.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
thank you.
I've got something.
I think I'm going to call this too. The onus is on you guys. Not one of you called us. You went and met with Rhinebeck Fire Department and said you were closing and could they take the district. Not one of you called me, and that's upsetting. How does that instill confidence? And now you're throwing Colette under the bus, Supervisor and past Chief McGuire. She's the only one who's been communicating with me.
Can I say something off the protected district issue, something totally different?
Yes.
My name's Tim Farrell. I'm a life member of the Hillside Fire Department. you know, I don't have much say in which way you guys are choosing to go on the protected district, but on our district, basically by taking the protected district, you or it's, or however, whatever word you want to use, that's starting to shut our doors down. Like that is the first step in shutting our doors.
You can raise your taxes to do that, to get more money. You can raise the taxes on your district.
Understood.
You are not beholden. Our contract doesn't shouldn't ensure the health of your department.
Long run, I don't know where this is going to go. I hear what you're saying. I don't have all those answers. I don't know all that, but I'm, for my family, for these guys' family, for everybody that grew up in the Hillside Fire Department, including your chief now, including many of your firefighters up at Rhinebeck. We've all grown up there. If you're going to follow through this, if we're going to end up folding down the road, like you know it's starting by taking a protected district, then somehow give us some sort of agreement or something that you'll keep the firehouse open and use it as like Station 2 or...
We haven't even come to that point yet.
Like I said...
I hired an attorney and spent money to start this.
Understood. That's the first step. Second step's us folding. Third step, what are you doing with the firehouse and all the equipment?
As we told, we don't even know if you're not folding. We told you in good faith we would work with you, that we were grateful for your 96-year service.
Yeah.
I know what you did with the man on Acton Hook Road. I know what you guys go through and the kind of volunteerism and what you have to see, Mr. McGuire. I know that. This is us making the best decision that we can for our citizens. And we want you to be a strong fire department, but you can't, like, I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing that financially you need the money, but you have control over that. You can up the rates on your...
I don't think we've ever raised any rates.
Well, maybe you have to look at that if that's what you need.
Understood.
But 6 interior firemen...
You got to understand that every volunteer fire department goes through a wave. They're going to have their ups and downs. Rhinecliff, Rhinebeck, everybody's been there. We've all overcome. We've fought for it. So we're sitting here today after... What?
Why didn't anybody call? Why is this the
I can't answer you on that. Why didn't you call?
I've been calling Colette.
Colette.
I have left messages for Mark. I mean, the first time I talked to him was last week.
So listen,
we're a customer. We're a client.
there is a bunch of, you know, we're not all on the same page. We're not all communicating clearly, as you're saying. Maybe we all need to work on that. But our manpower, and I wasn't going into this, but why not give us another shot at controlling our district?
Well,
like I didn't want to go into this,
bring
and
your
I wanted
numbers
to
up,
say,
and
but
we bring your numbers up.
our numbers are above state legal requirements, so there's no reason. Nobody's ever complained in our,
Okay.
I've lived here all my life in the Hillside Fire.
I hear you,
Nobody's
and
complained about any response.
I'd like
Nobody's
to-
complained about the Hillside Fire Department being bad people. Nobody's complained about any of that.
That's not what this is about.
You had said that a bunch of people in the district wrote letters in.
A bunch of
about-
people, once they heard you were closing,
Right.
are really freaked out.
Yep, so I would be too if we had 4 people, but now we're up to 16. We're trying. Like, we're
You're up
past-
to 15.
Okay, and we're past state legal requirements, so.
Okay. Well,
If you think the extra 10, 15 minutes for Rhinebeck to go and pass the firehouse to go to somebody else's house, that's up to you, and when something happens, I'd have to think that's on you, not us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Just one more thing. Thank you for hearing us. I will make sure we stay in better communication with you, and we'll let you know how we're going as the year progresses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody else?
I got one thing. I'm Brian McGuire. I'm the chairman of the commissioners in the Hillside Fire Company. If you have any problem with us, talk to the commissioners or the fire chief. Anybody else is just hearsay, okay?
Thank you, Mr. McGuire. Any further comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Tom?
Opposed.
4 passes 4 to 9. Thank you. Okay, let's go back to our regular meeting. Tab 2, 2025-102, a 2-year extension for streetlight maintenance.
Motion.
Second.
Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-103, hire part-time cemetery employee.
Oh,
Do
motion.
you want to do a 102? Or is that the one you just did?
We did it.
I'm sorry.
I'll
I'm
take
sorry.
Dana.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-104, Partners for Climate Change Cemetery Grant Agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Any comments, questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Amendment to Cemetery Rules, 2025-105. Motion, please.
Motion.
Thank you, Dana.
Second.
Thank you, Ellen. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Actually, this affects everybody. It's really, you're not allowed to plant things 18 inches, aside from 18 inches in front of the headstone. A lot of people have planted bushes in back of headstones and plants between headstones. We are going to start removing them. It's going to be very emotional for people, but it makes maintenance impossible. It's not in our rules, and it encroaches on other plots. So we will remove them and replant where possible. If not possible, they will just be removed. You know, people are going to be emotional about this, but the rules are the rules. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. This is just the same thing, but a different area of the cemetery. I'd like a motion for 2025-106.
Motion.
Second.
Chad. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-107, tax collector to attend educational conference. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Alan and Shad. Any comments, questions? Joni's going to go do tax school. Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
Sounds like fun.
Actually, there's a lot of new information out there, and it's just getting harder with the mail being so not dependable. February is, it's like a war zone here. So, thanks, Joan.
George, okay.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Bookkeeper and supervisor to attend finance personnel conference. This is a fun one, because usually it's just Office of the State Controller. Now they're folding in personnel issues and all the mandatory state and federal training that we all have to do. If I don't go, someone else can go on my place, or Shelley can go, but we usually go with Shelley.
Have a great time.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, we didn't motion it. I need a motion.
Motion.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Alan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Okay, 2025-109, Planning Board Zoning and Building Process Review Committee. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thanks, Alan. May I have a second?
Can't be me. I'm the-
Second. Can be you. We punishingly made you the chair because you didn't write the resolution. No, actually, it's an honor. We're starting a committee to review the process of getting building permits and going to the planning board so we can enumerate it and make it super clear. It's a committee that's going to have Josh Pulver, our former deputy supervisor, and an architect, Dana, and Alan, and Melanie Moore, who's the chair of our planning board, and Catherine Clark, who's a former member of our zoning board of appeals. It'll have our zoning administrator, and Michael Zarin is going to write the process for this. And we're also throughout this committee some fixes that Jim Levy, pretty much non-substantive, and there might be a few substantive changes to our zoning law, but we'll publish that when it's time, of fixes we have to do to zoning. Some of them are as small as just agreement of titles and yeah, very, more to come. Any comments or questions?
I'm excited.
Trying to contain yourself.
Get me started.
I knew you were on, Dana, but
All votes
yay.
aye. Better all be aye on this one.
Yay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously, thank you very much. Tab 10, 2025-110, recreational security camera, may I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Alan, thank you, Chad. We've been having a lot of ATVs and motorcycles and people doing bad things on our park and on our field before we put bollards up. So we can have nice things, we're gonna install more cameras. But Chad's also going to do a whole audit of the park to see what else we may need, yeah. But all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-111 Recreation Earth Day event. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Dana. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alan. All in favor? Any comments, questions? Yep.
Aye.
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 Vicky?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Motion on the security camera?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Alan and you.
Okay.
Tab 12, 2025-112 Recreation New Hires. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Chad.
Second.
Thank you, Alan. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-113 lifeguard training reimbursement. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Alan.
Second.
Chauncey, thanks. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-114 amendment to summer camp registration. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thanks, Dana. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. This is just taking it from grades to ages, which I think makes sense. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-115 auction of maintenance department zero-turn mower and snow blower. Dana, I knew it. It's equipment.
Bring mommy that zero turn, I won. Woo!
What's the inside joke? I don't get it.
She motions all big, heavy equipment.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. Thank you.
Anything having to do with big trucks or heavy equipment, Dana, that's her thing.
The frustrated cross-country semi-truck driver or something.
That and zoning review. Woo! Burning it on both
We're
ends
on
there.
fire here tonight.
Okay, I have Dana and Chad, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Just extend a robotic.
2025-116, purchasing a kiddie pool robotic vacuum.
Yes.
It's a little tiny.
It's cheaper
Got a
than my
motor.
pool robot. That's why I'm like, I gotta figure out where they're doing their supplies, man.
Did you get a second?
No, I haven't.
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We already amended our fire contract. Tab 18, 2025-118, create capital. I'm going to do all of these together. I'm going to motion 2025-118 to create a capital project H121 for the Little League fence. I'm going to do 25-119 to create a capital project H122 for the park pavilion build-out. And I'm going to do 2025-120 to create a capital project H123 for the bocce court. May I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Thanks, Alan. Actually, this is just us moving money over from our budget into capital projects so that we can start these projects. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. I'll make a motion for 2025-121 for our preliminary accounts payable abstracts. May I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chauncey. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 2025-122, capital projects abstracts. All motion, may I have a second?
Second.
Thanks, Chad. Any comments, questions, or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We discussed Hillside's department dissolution. That was discussed well. Update Rhinecliff parking plan. We had a banger of a meeting in Rhinecliff.
Elizabeth?
Yes, I know. I will.
Oh, you're coming to that, okay.
I will come back for that.
Okay.
What we heard overwhelmingly from the citizens of Rhinecliff is that they only want 20 to 22 parking spaces. They don't want one-way streets, and they don't want parking on Orchard. So we are coming back with a revised plan to take out all one-way streets. We will enumerate where all the parking will be in Rhinecliff. We will have signage basically saying there's no parking except where there is parking. And we are going to look at online apps for people to sign in for parking. If we can do it for free, it will be for free. If not, it'll have to be a minimum charge. And the reason for that is to make enforcement easier. Rhinecliff overwhelmingly wants 3-hour parking, no overnight parking, and some areas of 1 or half-hour parking. I can't remember. We also have a town lot with 10 to 12 spaces, which we are working on what we will do with that. In the past, it was only for Rhinecliff residents, but now that parking is so limited, we are going to open it up for all Rhinebeck residents. We just don't know what the parameters will be, and we don't know if we will sell spaces to people in Rhinecliff who don't have parking spaces, or if it will just be public. That's to be determined. The public also overwhelmingly asked us for punitive fines for people parking overnight. And really this parking law came about, one, because we found out that we have no codified parking laws anywhere in the town after being in business for almost 400 years. And we need to do that so that we can enforce it. And we did not want Rhinecliff to become a de facto parking lot for Rhinecliff commuters. So according to our attorney, Michael Barfield, who's working on this, we can't be punitive with fines or towing. We can only do things that make sense and are fair. So we can look at reasonable fines and reasonable reasons to tow. So we're working on that, but it can't be anything like $1,000 fee if you park and you get towed immediately. We can't be punitive. We have to be reasonable, as much as we're happy to hear that. So I just wanted to update everybody on that's what we're doing. I also wanted to schedule an attorney-client meeting with John Lyons regarding update on Red Wing. He did email me today after the agenda closed, and I want you guys to all get your calendars out. He is available Wednesday between noon and 4, Thursday between 12 and 1:30, or between 3 and 4.
Are you talking about this week?
Yes.
What was this last one?
Wednesday between noon and 4, and Thursday between noon and 1:30, or 3 and 4. So Wednesday or Thursday, how does that work?
Well, as I said in my email, I can't do tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Okay, how
But
about,
I won't be offended if you go without me.
thank you. How about everybody else?
I love the last one most, the Thursday 3 to 4.
Thursday's better for me.
Thursday 3 to 4?
Yeah.
Wiki?
Yeah. I can move something down.
In person or on Zoom?
Oh, we'll do a Zoom. Okay, I'm going to schedule, John Lyons and Kim at 3 p.m. Zoom. Okay, thank you, everybody. Also, Mike Barfield, sorry I'm backtracking, did let us know he has a few questions about parking around the whole town, because we have no parking laws codified. You're right on time, Bob Wyand, look at you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Mike Barfield wrote the town board Is the town interested in implementing any other V&T regulations? For example, many municipalities empower the highway superintendent to remove via towing any vehicles that obstruct, interferes with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Specific parking regulations to be contained in a series of schedules, other schedules. We don't designate town road intersections for stop intersections. Strong argument to be made that the police. All this to say, I'm asking your permission to have a meeting with Bob Wyant and Mike Barfield to go over this, take Bob Wyant's recommendations and present it to you.
Great. Yes.
Did you come for any other reason? You were right on time. And then the towing, we did review towing laws, and Mike's recommendation is that we establish a tow list, take applications, and require that they bill the owner-operator the car directly so that we have nothing to do with it. But that's in our law. It doesn't go before our judges. They're towed and they're billed. It's the best bet. You don't want to be in a position where the town pays for the tow service and then has to collect from the offender.
That's right.
So this will all be folded in, and Bob and I will work with Mike Barfield to come up with some. I don't know that we need parking regulations anywhere in the town. We talked about for parity, since we're going to make no overnight parking in Rhinecliff, that it be anywhere on town roads. And then we'll see what Bob has to say, because nobody knows the town roads better than Bob Wyant. I have one piece of new business, it's just cleanup. I'd like to bring up Resolution 2025-123, appointing a dog control officer. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Alan. I have a second. Thank you, Dana. We just made a mistake last meeting. There is no deputy dog control officer either in county civil service or town or state appointments. It's only a dog control officer. So
Not a big surprise.
we have two. So we're appointing Patricia Nguyen as our dog control officer along with Leslie Hill. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? What's so funny? What did I miss?
No, deputy dog.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
And we're not mature.
All in favor? We all voted for it? So I have a deputy dog story. Passes unanimously. Joan Winnie is our chief dog, and she's our dog. And what we call our deputy clerk is the deputy dog. So we're ahead of you on the deputy dog.
Oh, it's a cartoon?
Yeah, all right, this was a fun meeting. Is there any other?
I didn't rate it. Yeah.
Oh. Go ahead. You can go first. No, go ahead, Victoria. I decide.
Sure, thank you. Hi, good evening. Victoria Polidoro here on behalf of CECNY Land Holdings. I'm here to address Resolution 2025-01. I did foil for a copy of the resolution and was able to review it. And I also reviewed comments that were made to Dale Freeman, Mr. Kimball here. And so I want to make sure that all the town board members, including attorneys and lots of municipal experience, actually have a chance to review this law. Because what I'm concerned about is that the town is authorizing litigation of what is essentially a NIMBY lawsuit against the project in another community. Once you read the law, you'll see that all it does is provide a procedure to allow towns to enact their own zoning regulations over their own projects. So if a project in Rhinebeck required driveway access through Hyde Park, this law allows a process whereby that landowner in Rhinebeck could go to the Hyde Park Town Board. They have to file a petition. There could be a public hearing. It's a process. Nothing is automatic. Nothing is granted. It doesn't approve a project. Again, it's a project. It's a process. And so it protects owners in Rhinebeck the same way it would protect owners in Clinton or any other community that border Hyde Park, Poughkeepsie, Milan, etc. It does, as I mentioned, it provides due process, including a notice requirement and opportunity for a public hearing within the law itself. And during the public hearing, we watched all the videos in Hyde Park. There wasn't a single resident of Rhinebeck, apart from a paid consultant, who spoke out against Local Law 1. So we're just asking you to review the law, consider its effects, and then reconsider whether you actually want to spend taxpayer money on this kind of lawsuit.
Thank you. Bob, you had a comment?
Regarding the CCA, what dates will it take place between? When does it begin, the 6-month interim contract? Or get back to me on an email?
No, I knew this and now I forgot.
Because I didn't see it in the
July, August, September, October, November, and then we go out to bid.
Okay.
It extends the contract for 5 months.
Okay, 5 months.
Yes,
Okay.
and then we go out to bid again.
Very good. The other thing would be, I was wondering, is it possible that the planning board and the zoning board appeal agendas could be posted on the Friday before the meetings? I mean, it's great seeing the town board's agenda ahead of time, you know what's going to transpire like a night like this. The village does post their planning board and zoning board of appeals agendas, but I think it would be great for the town to be able to see what's going on, especially if large developments want to come in, they're going before the planning board, and people come to you 3 months later, I didn't know anything about this.
We never hear that. That's crazy. I've never heard that. That would be a great idea. I don't know that we have the authority. Hold on. I don't know that we have the authority to tell them when to post it.
Okay.
There's a they're statutory boards. They do post it in advance. I don't know that we can tell them when to close it and when to post it.
Okay.
Joni?
They are posted. The difference is they're not sent out by MailChimp.
That's what I'm looking for. Can it be sent out?
Can it?
I'm Deputy Dog.
That's additional strain on my office to do that. I'm not sure we can.
We'll check in.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions?
I have one. About the firefighters, the hillside, what happens to them? Do they get absorbed into the Rhinebeck fire?
They're not closing their doors. They, again, never contacted us, met with the village fire department, told them they were closing, asked if the village fire department could take over their district and their portion of our fire protection district. Once they found out that closing was going to mean that the town had control over their assets, like their building and fire trucks, they didn't want to close. It's very emotional. You heard how emotional it is. But with 6 interior firefighters and a dwindling membership, we had concerns. We had concerns even before we signed the contract in October because we knew they were shaky. So they continue on. They do not have, they're not taking care of our fire protection district anymore. It's going to Rhinebeck, and they can raise their taxes within their district to make more money and work on getting their membership strong again. So the fire department is remaining open.
So do they have a treasury? Is there a money?
I don't know. It's like you asking me about the school district. It's a
Okay.
totally separate taxation entity that we have nothing to do with. The only relationship we have with Hillside is that we did contract with them to cover part of our fire protection district. That's it.
And the thing that's frustrating is it's like, this is the first time we've seen all these guys here with this story. And other than that, it's been like a fire drill on our side. We've had emergency sessions and hired attorneys and spent all this time in this brain damage. So like, I'm torn. I saw the same thing you just saw. I was like, I'm rooting for these guys. I want them to get it back on their feet, but also like, I can't do 6 hours of meetings every month about this for eternity. Like
Trying to figure out a problem and then like, stop, go. And I mean, I'm not going to say it again. No one ever called me. And
That's poor.
fire chief from the village calls me all the time. The commissioner calls me all the time. The captain calls me all the time. I thought I had good communication from a treasurer secretary, but apparently that's not good enough. So I don't know. It doesn't feel great, but I made the decision I thought was the right thing for our residents.
Thank you.
I'm still rooting for them. Maybe they'll come back.
Any other comments, concerns, questions? No.
In light of Earth Day, I just have a question. Who's responsible for picking up all the beer cans that are thrown out of cars on the side of the road? Like on Mill Road, for example.
Responsible. Yeah.
That's horrible. Oh, we used to do.
The highway department does a cleanup. I mean, I know that there are loose, people who do side of the roads. I clean up Lower Hook Road on my own, and Upper Hook Road when I walk. I bring a trash bag, so, we could organize Earth Days, we could do stuff like that. I don't understand why people throw trash out of car windows, they never will.
You know what we should do? I love public shaming. You know how they have Adopt a Highway, and it's like, Art of Buildings cleaning this up or something. Adopt a Highway, but we do a big photo, and it's like a screenshot from the camera, and it shows the guy who's throwing it.
I would love to.
And we put
I
that
would
everywhere,
follow
all
them
over
home.
social media.
Yeah.
Adopt a Highway.
Somehow, I
Punitive.
just feel like this is not going to go over very well. Somehow, I don't know, I have my spidey senses going, this is not a good
I
idea.
have a zero-turn traffic camera on the agenda. I'll vote for it. We'll get this done.
All right, hearing nothing further unless Mel wants another question.
No, well, I was wondering if the property owners have any responsibility, or is that just something that cannot be enforced? People who just...
It's a public right-of-way, Bob. Like, what's your take on it?
I mean, I do send a crew out sometimes to clean up a road if I see it's getting really bad, especially Mount Rutson.
Oh, yeah.
That's our most heavily traveled road. And if I see there's getting a lot of litter, I'll send a crew out to pick everything
Mill
up.
Road's really bad this winter. Wasn't it bad? I feel like our road was bad this year.
It was.
Yeah.
Modelo beer was very popular.
Magella?
Modelo.
Oh, Modella.
Yeah,
Bottle.
Cans.
I see these garbage trucks that they pick the stuff up and throw it over the
That's
top
part
of
of
the
the
can.
problem. I agree.
And
Some of the...
they do have a door on there that they're supposed to close.
Yes.
And a lot of times, I followed one over in Kingston that had a 50-foot piece of paper coming out of it. And he just went right on and, I have talked to the garbage companies about it, to have the guys close the doors, because I follow these trucks and I see stuff flying out of the top of them, and there's no need for it.
Yeah.
I pick up, I walk and pick. But, yeah, I agree, it's sad.
But it bothers me that the owners of the property are doing nothing. So I'm picking up for them, in a way.
Talk to your neighbors. So, sorry. You never know. Things change. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. All right, everybody, thanks for coming.